Welcome back to the Deep Dive. If you have ever logged into Discord, watched a Twitch stream, or, desperately searched a subreddit for a fix to a game bug.
Oh, we've all been there.
We have all been there. And if you have, you've already interacted with the strategic world of community management.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't just about policing chat. It is the essential human bridge in the, absolutely thriving gaming industry.
That's so right. Today we're doing a comprehensive deep dive into really the professional foundation of this whole field.
And what's our source for this?
Our source material is a definitive professional blueprint. It's a Community Management 101 training curriculum that was developed by Sporte Academy.
Okay.
And this thing, it lays out the entire ecosystem, the career path, and all the, practical necessities for turning casual players into genuine advocates.
The people who stick with the product for years.
Exactly.
The loyalists.
So our mission today is to distill all that knowledge into the 4 core pillars that really define a CM's operational strategy.
We are going to teach you how to build your digital home, how to dynamically engage your members,
which is key.
How to rigorously moderate with, care and professionalism, and ultimately how to grow your community and your career. We are taking you from zero knowledge to, a foundational expert on the architecture of digital belonging.
And the stakes here, they justify this deep dive entirely, especially within the gaming market. The sheer scale dictates that community management is now a vital, mission-critical skill for any publisher or creator.
The scale is just mind-boggling.
It is. We are talking about 3.2 billion global gamers out there.
Billion with a B.
With a B, and every single one of them is actively seeking connection around their shared passions. They don't just want to play, they want to belong.
3.2 billion. That scale alone should tell you this isn't some hobbyist job anymore.
Not at all.
And the data confirms they are actively seeking that social layer. The source material highlights that a massive 83% of all gamers join game communities.
83%.
So if you launch a product without a strong community strategy, you are essentially ignoring 8 out of 10 of your potential customers.
Yeah.
It's just bad business.
It's terrible business. And when you look at this from an organizational perspective, the payoff is so clear. It moves CM from a nice-to-have to a must-have department.
Okay, so what's the big number there?
The primary data point is this. Strong, well-managed communities result in 5 times higher player retention.
5 times.
5. So community managers aren't just support staff. They are fundamental to product longevity, the quality of player life, and ultimately the company's lifetime value, the LTV metrics.
So let's start laying those foundations then.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this crucial role. We really need to start with the core definition. What exactly is community management? Because, like we just established, it's far more than just being a glorified moderator or, a chat cleaner.
Correct. The core definition, as it's defined in the training, is the strategic practice of building, nurturing, and growing a group united by shared interests.
So that could be anything, right?
Yeah.
A brand, a game.
A massive global brand, a specific niche game, or even an individual creator. And it moves beyond simple administrative tasks like, scheduling posts or deleting spam. It focuses entirely on cultivating genuine, long-term relationships and fostering a strong, positive sense of belonging among all the members.
I really appreciate the description in the source material. It calls the community manager the essential bridge between an organization and its most passionate fans.
That's a great way to put it.
But a bridge needs 2 sides. So that brings us immediately to the CM's mandatory dual voice function.
Yeah, it does. The CM acts simultaneously as a mandatory internal advocate and an external advocate. So on one side, they are the voice of the community to the organization.
The conduit inwards.
Exactly. This is where the CM becomes the internal truth teller. This means they are gathering qualitative feedback, quantitative data, identifying trends in player sentiment.
Like, are they mad about a new patch? Are they excited about a tournament? That kind of thing.
Precisely. And critically, they are reporting bugs and advocating for community needs in those internal development discussions.
So they are the representative of the customer in the boardroom, often when that customer is, incredibly vocal or sometimes very, very angry.
Oh, yeah. They are the human filter for all that chaos.
That sounds stressful.
It requires exceptional diplomatic skills because you have to be brave enough to deliver bad news internally. And the other side of that bridge is being the voice of the brand to the community.
Okay, so speaking outwards.
Right. This involves communicating official announcements clearly, explaining difficult or unpopular decisions with transparency and empathy, and representing the organization's core values in every single interaction.
So they have to sound authentic and relatable.
Yeah.
Not like some, automated corporate message generator.
That's the whole game. If you sound like a robot, you've already lost.
Now, here's a distinction that trips up a lot of newcomers trying to break into the field. And it often dictates the whole organizational structure of a marketing department. What exactly separates the community manager, the CM, from the social media manager, the SMM?
The classic question.
They both post online, but their goals are just radically different.
This is a crucial differentiation and a common point of organizational confusion. The social media manager focuses primarily on reach.
Reach, impressions, clicks.
Yeah.
The big top-level numbers.
Yep. They manage the external content calendar, the polished posts, and the external analytics like follower count and virality. They are fundamentally broadcasters.
So they want the tweet to go viral.
Yeah.
They want the maximum number of new people to see the new trailer. They're focused on the top of the sales funnel, that whole discovery phase.
Exactly. The CM, by stark contrast, focuses on retention, culture, and deep relationships.
So much more internal.
Much more. They operate within the closed or semi-closed environment, like a Discord, a forum, a private group, where the deep conversations are already happening. They are concerned with the bottom of the funnel.
So here's the key insight that separates them.
The key insight is that great CMs convert those passive followers, the SMM's successful reach into active, dedicated participants, and eventually brand advocates.
That makes the roles codependent, doesn't it? The SMM brings the fish to the boat.
But the CM has to make sure they don't jump back out into the ocean. That's a perfect analogy.
So is one role truly superior, or does the CM simply unlock the value that the SMM created?
They are entirely codependent, but the value proposition of the CM is arguably higher in the long term, especially in gaming. The SMM increases awareness, the CM increases loyalty and LTV.
Right.
If you have a massive follower count but zero community, the moment your product stops releasing new content, those followers they vanish.
Poof, gone.
The CM builds the safety net that ensures people stay for the people, not just for the product. They move people from merely liking a post to actually caring about the future of the product. And that is a massive, measurable value jump for any business. #, hashtag 1.2 types and value propositions. So for you, the learner, if you're thinking about where to apply these sophisticated skills, the gaming world offers a truly diverse variety of environments.
And they each require a slightly different operational focus, right?
Absolutely. The source material outlines 5 main types of communities that a CM might manage.
Okay, let's run through them. You have the massive scale of game publisher communities. I'm thinking like the giants, Epic or Microsoft.
Exactly. These communities can number in the millions. They require sophisticated, often automated moderation, but the CMs also have that exciting direct path to feeding information back to the actual development teams.
So they're the most direct pipeline for product iteration.
The most direct. Then you have esports organization communities. These are focused entirely on team culture, individual player content, and of course, merchandise.
So here, the CM is nurturing loyalty around athletes and a brand identity. It's less about product features and more about cultural identity.
Spot on. It's all centered on match schedules, performance analysis, fan meetups, that sort of thing.
And then the most personal environment, the one that probably requires the most emotional intelligence, the creator-streamer communities.
Oh, definitely. These are incredibly intimate and personality-driven, often focused on platforms like Twitch or Patreon. The CM here needs to mirror the creator's specific voice, understand the nuances of a highly dedicated, smaller audience,
And manage the boundary between the public and private life of the personality they represent. That's a tough line to walk.
a very tough line. The other 2 types are the hyper-focused tournament event communities, which require deep, short-term event logistics expertise.
So think setting up brackets, handling check-ins, managing specific rule sets.
All that. And finally, the truly independent fan-made grassroots communities, like highly active subreddits or independent Discord groups.
These are driven purely by member passion.
Purely. And here, the CM's role is often one of support or subtle guidance, rather than direct control.
So let's bring it back to the business case. Why should an organization invest heavily in this? We keep coming back to that retention metric, but let's elaborate on the full business case that justifies the salary structure we'll talk about later.
It really boils down to 4 tangible values that hit the bottom line. First, as we mentioned, is higher retention and lifetime value, LTV.
Okay, define LTV for us.
LTV is the total revenue a company expects to earn from a single customer over the entire duration of their relationship. So if players feel connected, they stay longer, they spend more on cosmetic items and expansions.
And they're probably more forgiving when bugs or unpopular decisions happen.
Significantly more forgiving. That's critical. A loyal player who stays 3 years instead of 6 months buys, 5 DLCs instead of 1, or buys premium battle passes consistently. That is the direct, measurable impact of belonging.
Okay, what's number 2?
The second is essentially free, highly effective marketing. The source notes the data point. 71% of people trust community recommendations.
71%.
That is authentic free marketing via word of mouth that no paid advertisement, however clever, can replicate. It's earned trust, not bought advertising space. Third, they provide direct product feedback that bypasses expensive focus groups. The community is a perpetual, voluntary focus group, offering real-time, unfiltered insight into what's working, what's broken, and what they want next.
So a good CM channels this raw noise into actionable, prioritized data for the dev team.
That's the job. And finally, a factor that is often overlooked until disaster strikes: crisis resilience.
The safety net.
The ultimate safety net. When controversy hits, whether it's a security breach or a major game balance issue, a loyal community acts as a bucker. They will actively defend the brand, correct misinformation, and generally give the organization the benefit of the doubt.
Which buys critical time for an official, measured response to be crafted and deployed.
It's invaluable.
So to manage all this value effectively, the CM has to master moving people through the community lifecycle, which has 4 essential stages. This is basically your core job description in 4 steps.
It is. The journey begins with discovery. That first encounter, maybe seeing an ad, a stream, or a viral clip, they're curious.
Then they join the Discord or subreddit.
And that's onboarding, which is the most critical stage for retention. You have to teach the new member the community norms, how to get started in the game, and most importantly, how to participate. This is where good architecture pays off.
Next is participation, where they become active, engaged members. They chat, they join game nights, they offer suggestions. They're now invested.
And the ultimate goal, the final stage, is advocacy. These are your champions. They're loyal, they're inviting others actively, and they're genuinely campaigning for the brand or game on social media.
So your job as the CM is to look at your entire strategy, your rules, your events, your content, and make sure it facilitates movement from discovery all the way through to advocacy as smoothly, clearly, and enticingly as possible.
Exactly. This life cycle isn't just a diagram. It is the fundamental engine of long-term community success and that all-important LTV growth.
So if the CM is the bridge, then they need a central hub that is stable, scalable, and just easy to navigate. And for the gaming world today, that hub is, it's undeniably Discord.
Discord is the default for a very good reason. It combines real-time chat, voice, bots, deep customization, and it's gaming native.
But that high degree of customization, that's a double-edged sword.
It is. It means CMs must be excellent architects when designing their server. Bad architecture is the silent killer of community health. If the house is disorganized, people just won't stay. Hashtag tag 2.1 designing the Discord hub.
So the source material provides an excellent blueprint for an essential channel structure. It divides the server into 5 key organizational categories to reduce that cognitive load for new members.
Right.
Let's start with the administrative non-negotiables. Information channels.
These have to be read-only. They serve as the welcome mat and the community constitution. This includes a hashtag welcome channel, which often uses bots to greet new members and explain verification.
And a clear hashtag rules channel.
Absolutely. Hashtag rules channel, hashtag announcements for official news, and hashtag FAQ, and a list of available hashtag roles and their perks.
So they set the tone and ensure new members know exactly where to find critical info without asking the same questions over and over in the main chat.
It saves everyone a lot of time and frustration. Then we move to the core of the social life, the general channels. This is where the personality of the community really emerges.
This is the fun stuff.
This typically includes a vibrant hashtag general chat for real-time connection and hashtag introductions channel to encourage new members to feel seen.
And hashtag off-topic for unrelated chatter.
Which is essential for keeping the main chat clean, and of course, hashtag memes or hashtag media. This is the water cooler where the genuine relationships are actually formed. This is what moves members from onboarding to participation.
Crucially, especially for gaming communities. You need dedicated gaming channels for the actual purpose of the community.
Yes, you have to separate the specific activity from the general chatter. This includes a robust hashtag looking for group or LFG channel.
Maybe subdivided by regions or platforms.
Oh, for sure. That's critical for helping users find play partners and making the game more enjoyable. You also need hashtag game discussion, hashtag clips to share successes, which is a great form of UGC, and specific channels for hashtag tournaments or hashtag build sharing.
And for utility, we have the sport channels, which are vital for retaining users by providing direct help and capturing valuable data.
These are so essential for channeling negativity constructively. They include hashtag help, hashtag feedback, hashtag bug reports, and hashtag suggestions.
So the CM's job is to make sure feedback and issues land here rather than letting them poison the main chat.
Exactly. By directing users here, you turn negative feedback into actionable data for the organization. This directly links the build pillar to the CM's voice of the community function.
And finally, the lifeblood of real-time gaming, dedicated voices channels.
This structure should be logical and clearly labeled. General VCs, gaming VCs, often separated by game mode and AFK channel to keep active groups clean, and the ability for users to create private or temp VCs for their small groups.
Voice channels are often the highest point of engagement, aren't they?
They can be. They can convert passive members into deeply entrenched friends faster than almost anything else.
Okay, let's talk setup best practices, the operational do's and don'ts, because technical organization is what maintains long-term usability.
The essential do's include implementing clear channel descriptions so members know what to post where, using slow mode and busy channels to prevent spam floods.
Especially during a big announcement or something.
Absolutely. And you must require a robust verification system, often linking to Discord's rule acceptance or even external tools to keep out bots and raids. You also need effective automod tools to filter spam and slurs, and always deploy a welcoming message or DM for new users during that crucial onboarding phase.
And the biggest operational don't, which is such a powerful pro tip for the learner, avoid too many channels. The source explicitly warns to keep the channel count under 20, especially at launch. Why is that number so critical? What happens when you violate it?
It creates analysis paralysis. A new member joins, sees 50 channels, and just their brain shuts down.
You feel like they have too much to read and figure out. They just leave.
They just leave. And secondly, it leads to conversation fragmentation. Instead of having one vibrant hashtag general chat, you have 10 nearly dead channels, and the whole community feels quiet and lifeless.
So what's the rule of thumb for the professional CM?
Start simple, maintain a clear, vibrant core, and only scale channels up as the active community explicitly requests and sustains them. Never build a channel expecting conversation. Build it only once the conversation is already happening in a less appropriate place.
Beyond the sheer structure, the CM needs an effective role hierarchy to reward participation and manage permissions. This ties directly back to the gamification and moderation pillars.
The standard hierarchy is essential. It starts with admin full control, usually only 2 to 4 highly trusted leaders at the top.
Followed by moderators.
Right, who handle muting, kicking, and message management. Below that, you have VIPs, or community champions, those loyal members with special, often cosmetic perks. Then the verified members who have completed the rules acceptance. And finally, the default member role.
Clear roles communicate status, permissions, and that internal social ranking.
Exactly. And you can't possibly run a modern large-scale community without automation. CMs are expected to be technologically proficient.
So which essential bots are non-negotiable for operational integrity?
You need systems for 3 core functions. First, robust moderation and leveling. Tools like MEE6 or Carlbot are industry standards. They track messages, assign XP, and handle basic auto-response commands.
What's next?
The second, advanced anti-spam and custom commands. A utility bot like Dino is necessary for specialized server functions and preventing those immediate, overwhelming attacks.
And for the support side? A ticket bot is essential for creating private support channels when dealing with sensitive one-on-one issues.
Like a moderation appeal, an account issue, or a member crisis, you never want complex support discussions happening in public chat.
Right.
And critically, a professional CM has to track data, which brings us to the GROW pillar, even while we're setting up the structure. A tool like StatBot or similar analytics trackers is necessary for logging server activity, tracking message counts, growth, and engagement patterns.
We'll come back to this, but it's a good foreshadow.
It is. If you can't measure the activity and retention of your new members, you can't prove your value or grow your operation. It's that simple. #tag 2.2 platform comparison and recommended strategy.
Discord may be the central anchor, but the CM's reach needs to extend across the entire digital ecosystem.
Oh, for sure.
A successful CM understands the strengths and weaknesses of secondary platforms and uses them, surgically.
Let's start with Reddit. Its strength is that it's fantastic for SEO and long-term discoverability. The threaded discussion format allows for deep, persistent conversations that are easy to look up later.
Which is vital for things like guides or troubleshooting.
Absolutely. But the primary weakness of Reddit, it is inherently less real-time than chat, and community ownership is less absolute due to site-wide rules and anonymous administration.
So it's best used for structured news updates, persistent discussion, and long-form feedback.
Exactly. Then you have Twitter X. This is the announcement megaphone.
The town crier.
The town crier. Its pros are real-time updates, immense viral potential, and it is the key platform for industry networking. It is the fastest way to achieve mass reach and disseminate breaking news, making it an excellent discovery tool.
But the downside is its short-form, rapid-fire nature and total dependence on algorithmic visibility. Content has a very short lifespan.
Sometimes just minutes.
So it's not where deep community life happens. It's where you broadcast the news that sends people to the hub. It drives the top of the funnel.
Perfectly put. For purely visual content, we look at YouTube and TikTok. YouTube offers incredible potential for long-form, evergreen content. Tutorials, lore breakdowns, VODs.
It also has community tabs and strong monetization potential. The major con, though, is the exceptionally high production bar required to succeed consistently.
It's a lot of work. It's best for educational guides and building expertise authority. TikTok, on the other hand, excels at massive organic reach and trend discovery with a much lower production bar.
Sometimes just a smartphone video.
Often just that. It's superb for quick discovery and virality, especially with younger audiences, making it a powerful discovery tool. But the limitation is that it offers virtually no real community or retention tools. Content has a very short lifespan, sometimes just hours.
So if you're trying to build a thriving ecosystem that sustains LTV, what is the strategic takeaway? What's the hybrid model recommended in the training, and how do these pieces fit together for the CM?
The recommended model is a tripod approach built on complementary strengths. Discord serves as the core hub.
That's for retention, deep relationships, and the management of LTV.
Right. Then Twitter X is utilized for broad reach and real-time announcements, the megaphone. And either YouTube or TikTok is used for content creation and discovery, bringing new members into the funnel.
A professional CM understands that they have to use these platforms according to their unique strengths.
And they recognize that trying to make Discord act like Twitter or Twitter act like a community hub is just a recipe for wasted effort.
You must always funnel the activity back to your owned, managed hub Discord, where you control the data, the culture, and the ability to convert passive viewers into active participants.
That is the whole strategy in a nutshell.
All right, this is where the transition from an empty room to a vibrant home happens. A beautiful Discord server with clear rules is just architecture until you fill it with life. The next pillar is engage.
And engagement is what successfully moves a member from that precarious onboarding stage to dedicated participation. Content is the primary fuel for that engine.
So CMs must effectively be creative directors.
They do. And they have to understand that consistency, authenticity, and lowering the barrier to entry are often far more important than high production value. #tagged 3.1 content types for connection.
Let's discuss techniques that are specifically designed to elicit participation and discussion, rather than just acting as a one-way broadcast. We're aiming for conversation here, not a lecture.
Right. So we rely heavily on what we call discussion starters. The goal is psychological. Give the user a low-effort prompt that makes them want to reply.
Okay, give me an example.
These can include hot takes and opinions, controversial but safe statements like, unpopular opinion, the current skill-based matchmaker needs a total overhaul.
Oh, that'll get people talking.
It invites debate and emotional investment. It provides a safe avenue for friction.
What else?
Then there's this or that, which forces a binary choice, like would you rather have a new map or a new weapon? Or storytime prompts, like asking about their biggest gaming fail or greatest victory.
Which encourages personal connection and lowers that entry barrier. It's easier to share a quick personal anecdote than it is to write a full paragraph of technical feedback.
So much easier. Now, one of the most powerful tools for building long-term loyalty and internal pride is featuring the community itself. That's user-generated content, UGC.
Right. People love to see their own stuff get highlighted.
When members see themselves reflected in the brand's channels, their loyalty just skyrockets. You aren't just creating content for them, you're featuring their content.
This includes clip showcases, fan art features, meme competitions.
Setup or battle station tours, or highlighting user-made guides. UGC acts as free, authentic, and highly persuasive social proof that the community is a worthwhile place to be.
And for real agency, the feeling that their voice actually matters, interactive content is essential.
Yes. Polls and votes allow the community to decide on minor things, giving them a stake in the outcome, maybe choosing the theme for the next event or a channel icon.
Trivia and quizzes test their game knowledge.
Fostering playful competition. Challenges offer skill-based competition, like a speedrunning contest or a specific in-game achievement showcase.
And we can't forget the valuable AMA sessions Ask Me Anything with staff or creators.
These are huge. This transparency builds enormous trust. It provides members with that sought-after exclusive access reward, making them feel closer to the development process.
So a good CM ensures these AMAs have clear rules, funneling questions ahead of time, and ensuring staff answer even the difficult questions honestly.
Fulfilling that voice of the brand function transparently, it's so important.
Consistency is what turns casual visits into ingrained habit. So CMs need a calendar and structure through recurring content series.
These structures build anticipation and give the community a consistent reason to check in. Think Meme Monday, Tip Tuesday for sharing pro tips or game guides.
Throwback Thursday for nostalgia.
Right. Or historical context about the game. Or Free Talk Friday to allow off-topic discussion and weekend planning. The member knows exactly what to expect when they log in at a specific time or day.
This predictability encourages rhythmic, long-term participation.
It builds a habit.
Now, we have to address the sacred text of community management, the defining metric that separates professionals from amateurs, the 80-20 rule.
The golden rule.
Explain what this means in practical terms and why violating it is an instant engagement killer.
This rule dictates that 80% of your public content, both on Discord and external channels, should be community-focused.
So content that is about entertainment, education, facilitating interaction, or fostering belonging.
All of that. And only 20% should be promotional, talking about your new product, your latest sale, pre-order links, or demanding members follow an external link.
Let's ground this in a practical example. Say we manage the community for a massive fantasy RPG like Elden Ring. What does an 80% community-focused month look like versus 80% promotional?
Okay, in the Elden Ring example, 80% community content means posts featuring player-submitted gear showcases, deep lore discussions, hosting build crafting guides, creating a trivia contest about boss names, or running a fanfiction competition.
Content focused entirely on the community's enjoyment and utility.
Exactly. Only 20% should be pre-order our new DLC now, or don't forget to buy this limited edition plushie.
And the warning is stark. If you invert this ratio, turning it into 80% promotion and 20% community focus, engagement will absolutely plummet.
It will. You stop being a hub for shared passion and start being an ad space that people instinctively mute or leave.
So what are some other critical engagement killers?
Using only one-way broadcasts without reply structures, ignoring member responses, which makes people feel unseen posting inconsistently, or just getting too promotional too frequently.
A good CM always asks follow-up questions, tags key people to make them feel seen, and prioritizes conversation over clicks.
Always. Hashtag 3.2, community events and gamification.
Okay, so content is the daily rhythm, events are the milestones. They create shared memories and encourage huge spikes in activity.
Right, and CMs need to organize events based on required effort, consistency, and expected impact.
So we can categorize events into 3 functional tiers based on planning requirements.
We can. The first is low effort, weekly. These are essential for consistent, easy access touchpoints. Simple game nights in a VC, watch parties, chill VCs with staff, trivia contests, or movie nights.
So minimal planning, high reliability, great for building that habit we talked about.
Exactly. Then we step up to medium effort, monthly. These require more planning but drive significant focused engagement.
What falls in this category?
Structured AMAs with a guest, themed mini tournaments with simple prizes, major giveaways, or creative contests requiring submissions, like designing a piece of fan art. These take, maybe 2 to 4 hours of planning and execution.
And finally, high-effort quarterly events. These must take weeks of prep.
They do, but they create truly memorable, community-defining experiences. Major competitive tournaments with significant prizes, physical meetups or LANs, charity streams lasting a full day, or major anniversary events with multiple activities.
The goal here is making noise, generating massive internal pride, and driving external promotion.
Absolutely.
Planning these, especially the medium and high-effort ones, requires discipline. We need a solid event planning checklist to make sure nothing crucial is missed.
The process breaks down into 3 critical phases. Before the event, you have to set the date and time, being extremely clear about the time zone.
And provide an automated way for people to convert it to their local time.
Please do. Create a compelling event, graphic, and promotional material that clearly defines the value proposition. Write clear, concise rules and promote it actively for about a week ahead across all your platforms.
And, critically, line up the moderator support needed before the event starts. Don't scramble for it mid-event.
Never. During the event, the CM's energy must be high and visible. You welcome participants repeatedly, you take screenshots and clips actively for future promotion, you manage the flow of the activity, and you handle any issues that arise fast.
And if technical issues happen, transparency is key.
Just be honest about it. After the event, the work isn't done. Announce winners clearly, share the highlights package, and clips more UGC to maximize the shelf life of the experience.
And critically, collect feedback, either via a poll or a dedicated feedback channel, so you can plan the next one even better.
Successful CMs treat events as iterative processes. They're always learning.
To maintain long-term motivation and participation outside of big events, CMs rely on gamification.
Right. This translates familiar game mechanics, rewards, progress, status into the community experience itself.
So what systems have proven to increase motivation exponentially?
Things like XP and levels, so earning points for participation, message counts or voice time, role progression, so unlocking special roles or access levels at specific milestones, and leaderboards for weekly or monthly rankings.
So you're essentially giving members achievements and progression status for being engaged, active citizens in your digital space.
It makes participation feel rewarding even when they aren't playing the game.
And what are the best reward ideas for these systems? They don't always have to be expensive, right? Sometimes status is the most valuable commodity in the community.
Absolutely. The most effective rewards are intangible but high value within the community structure. Custom Discord roles, unique colors, VIP channel access, or public shoutouts and spotlights.
But if the organization allows it,
then physical rewards like merch, gift cards, or beta keys are powerful incentives. But the ultimate, highly sought-after reward in gaming is playing with staff or creators.
That perceived proximity to the organization is incredibly potent.
Incredibly. The core lesson here is: start small with low effort, consistent content and events to build habit and reduce promotion. Then you scale up the effort as a community naturally grows and starts demanding more complex shared experiences.
Engagement brings energy, but energy without structure leads directly to toxicity and burnout.
It's a fine line.
This brings us to the third pillar, moderate. This is the foundation of safety, culture, and long-term sustainability, both for the community and for the CM themselves.
Moderation is where the CM truly shapes the culture and enforces the values established by the brand. The CM must ensure the community is a welcoming environment, and that starts with having a strong, fair set of rules and an effective, predictable enforcement framework. Hashtag tag 4.1 Rules and Enforcement Framework.
The source material is very clear on this. Rules should serve the community, enabling free conversation while maintaining safety, not the other way around.
Right.
So what defines an effective set of rules that are easy to remember and enforce?
Good rules must be 5 things. They must be clear, so easy to understand immediately. Specific, defining exactly what is not allowed, like no unapproved self-promotion.
Reasonable, so not overly restrictive, allowing for natural, spirited conversation.
Enforceable, so they can be consistently applied by all staff regardless of time of day. And visible, easy to find, usually pinned in #rules channel and linked in the welcome message.
We have an essential rule template here, covering the 6 core pillars of expected community behavior that should apply to pretty much any gaming community.
First, be respectful. This is the broadest category, banning harassment, hate speech, discrimination, and personal attacks.
Second, keep it safe. This addresses pornography, gore, or harmful material, ensuring the community is safe for a wide range of ages.
Third is no spam, meaning no unauthorized self-promotion, advertising, repetitive messaging, or flooding channels. Fourth, stay on topic, ensuring members use the appropriate channels.
Which reinforces the Discord architecture we discussed earlier. If everyone is posting LFG requests and hashtag general chat, the whole system just breaks down.
It does. Fifth, follow Platform 2S, a mandatory reminder that platform rules like Discord's terms of service or Reddit's site-wide policies and local laws always supersede community rules.
That protects the organization legally.
It does. And sixth, listen to staff, establishing that moderator decisions are final, with appeals handled privately via a ticket system to maintain order in public spaces.
Okay, so once rules are established, enforcement must follow a predictable, tiered structure, the consequence ladder. This is essential for perceived fairness.
The latter minimizes sudden shock, it reduces moderator bias, and it gives members a crucial chance to correct their behavior before permanent exclusion.
So where does it start?
It starts with a warning. The first offense, usually a documented verbal or written note. If it's repeated, especially in a short time frame, it moves to a mute.
A temporary restriction, usually 1 to 24 hours, often used for heated arguments or persistent mild spam.
Exactly. When does that temporary mute escalate to a full temporary ban, which locks the user out entirely?
A temp ban, a cooling off period of 1 to 7 days, is often necessary for persistent passive-aggressive behavior that doesn't violate zero tolerance, but poisons the general atmosphere slowly.
Or, when a member repeatedly breaks rules immediately after a mute expires, it signals a serious necessity for reflection. Only for severe or repeated offenses that demonstrate an unwillingness to abide by the culture do you reach the top of the ladder, permanent ban.
However, there are some behaviors that skip the ladder entirely because they pose immediate legal risk or immediate danger. What falls under zero tolerance? We have to be explicitly clear about the severity here.
These are actions that require immediate permanent ban and, critically, mandatory platform reporting to their trust and safety teams. This includes doxing, publishing private information, credible threats of violence, organized raids against the community, and any illegal activity.
We must also explicitly name the legal requirements regarding CSAM.
Yes, child sexual abuse material. Any content of which requires immediate mandatory reporting to law enforcement and platform officials with absolutely zero hesitation. These actions are non-negotiable and no warnings are given.
That distinction between behavioral issues, which use the latter, and criminal or immediate safety risks, which are zero tolerance, is paramount.
Absolutely. And here is a critical operational need that often gets missed by entry-level CMs: the requirement to document everything.
You have to keep a log.
CMs must document every single moderation, action warnings, mutes, kicks, and bans in a private shared log. You need these records for two essential purposes: handling member appeals, to prove why an action was taken and maintain fairness, and recognizing patterns in problematic behavior, which is essential for scaling up and training new mods.
Without documentation, you cannot maintain consistent enforcement.
You can't. You're just flying blind.
Yeah.
Hashtag tag 4.2, handling difficult situations and de-escalation.
The CM role is frequently high pressure and demands exceptional emotional labor. We need specific protocols for handling common, difficult situations that can quickly spiral into a full-blown community crisis.
Right. Let's run through the specific scenario protocols required in the field. For a heated argument between multiple members, the CM's job is to first intervene publicly to show awareness and stop the immediate toxicity.
But then quickly move both parties to DMs or a private channel to resolve the dispute.
Exactly. You enforce a cool-off mute or temp ban if necessary. You show control, but you resolve the conflict privately.
Okay, what if the community is hit by a sudden, often coordinated spam or raid attack?
Immediate action is required. The CM should have pre-configured controls to instantly enable lockdown mode on the server, banning the attackers en masse if possible, and instantly increasing verification requirements, like requiring phone number verification, to stop the influx.
And once it's calm, the CM has to communicate clearly that the threat is neutralized.
You have to reassure everyone. Now, a far more sensitive, high-stakes situation that CMs face is dealing with a member in crisis, such as mentions of self-harm, suicidal ideation, or severe emotional distress.
This has to be the hardest part of the job.
It is. The protocol is firm and empathetic. The CM is not a mental health professional. You must reach out privately with genuine concern, share professional crisis resources, national hotlines, text lines, local resources, but, and this is critical,
You must not promise confidentiality if you believe safety is at risk.
you cannot. You must notify senior staff or internal security channels immediately, even if they're outside of the community team. The CM's focus must be on directing the member to immediate, qualified external help.
What about community backlash? When the audience is genuinely upset about a decision the organization made, maybe a controversial game balance change or a certain price increase. This is the CM's dual voice function under maximum stress.
You cannot get defensive even if the feedback is aggressive. Protocol demands you first acknowledge their feelings directly, their frustration is valid, then transparently explain the reasoning behind the decision, focusing on why the organization made the move.
And most effectively, you create a dedicated feedback channel or thread to contain and gather that constructive criticism.
It shows you are listening, even if the decision itself is irreversible. It's about managing the reaction, not avoiding the issue.
The overall approach relies on specific de-escalation tactics. What are the rules for keeping the temperature down when you are feeling the heat?
Always remain calm, professional, and consistent. Acknowledge their feelings directly. A phrase like, "I understand you're frustrated about the recent announcement," validates the member without validating their aggressive behavior.
And focus your feedback on the behavior, not the person.
Yes. You violated Rule 3 by attacking another member, not "you are a toxic person." And finally, know your own limits. If you are becoming agitated, step away and let a team member take over.
That leads to a critical point, often ignored by organizations: CM wellness. This job is emotionally taxing because you absorb so much negativity and distress.
Absolutely. Moderator burnout is a documented, real concern and a major driver of CM turnover. CMs absorb a tremendous amount of toxicity and difficult situations, sometimes daily. The training emphasizes that your mental health matters just as much as the community's.
So you have to set hard boundaries, take consistent breaks, and you cannot carry every single problem alone.
This job requires internal support structures to be sustainable, period.
Okay, we've built the space, we've fueled the conversation, and we've kept it safe. Now, the final pillar, GOOW. And professional growth means measuring success. But CMs differentiate themselves by understanding that not all numbers are equal.
This is a major area where professional CMs differentiate themselves from casual administrators. They understand that they must prioritize quality and retention over sheer quantity. They focus on proving the LTV impact.
So let's look at the key metrics that demonstrate real, measurable value and activity to stakeholders and the organization's leadership.
Forget the total member count for a moment. That's often a meaningless number. Instead, look at active members.
You need to track daily active users, DAU, and monthly active users, MAU, and the number of messages or interactions per day.
Right. This shows who is actually engaging and using the platform, not just who joined once and never returned.
And we have healthy benchmarks for this. If I'm reporting to the director of marketing, what's a good DAU-MAU ratio to demonstrate community health?
The ratio compares your daily activity to your total monthly audience. A ratio of 20% to 30% is considered healthy.
So at least 1/5 of your total monthly users are logging in and interacting every single day.
Exactly. If your ratio is only 10%, it signals you're attracting new users well, but you are failing spectacularly to make them stick around or participate. It tells leadership that your onboarding and engagement strategies need an immediate overhaul.
Next is retention rate, the ultimate indicator of community health and the strongest argument for the CM's value to the business LTV.
This tracks the percentage of members who stay active after 7, 30, or 90 days. If your community provides ongoing value and belonging, your retention will be high.
And what's a good number to aim for?
A 30-day retention rate of 40% or higher is considered good. If you drop below that, it clearly indicates problems with the quality of conversations, the welcoming process, or the consistency of engagement.
We need to contrast these real metrics, DAU, MAU, retention, with what the industry calls vanity metrics.
Vanity metrics. The easy, flashy numbers that look good on a headline but don't translate to loyalty or product longevity.
These are total members, follower count on Twitter, or the total number of likes on a post.
They are easy to acquire but do not tell you if anyone actually cares or intends to stick around. Real metrics, in contrast, are active percentage, retention rate, quality of conversations, and the speed of that product feedback loop.
So the core insight to remember, repeated directly from the professional training and validated by the retention data, is that 1,000 engaged members is better than 10,000 inactive followers.
Quality drives LTV. Quantity only drives ego.
So how is growth actually achieved?
Growth is achieved through focused, measurable strategies that funnel external interest back into the retention hub. We look at strategic cross-promotion partnering with similar or adjacent communities, content marketing creating shareable clips, guides, and memes, specifically designed to drive external traffic back to the Discord hub.
Events and giveaways, used as recruitment tools advertised externally.
And highly targeted influencer outreach. Getting creators to mention and drive traffic to your specific community links, not just to the game itself. Hashtag tag 5.2, the CM career path, the professional trajectory.
For you, the learner, this deep dive is not just about acquiring skills, it's about a career. And community management is one of the fastest growing and highest demand professional tracks in gaming today. Let's detail the standard salary and responsibility ladder.
The ladder starts with the entry level, which is around $0 to $45,000.
This typically includes volunteer mods, unpaid Discord admins, or paid junior CMs, often focused on one specific platform or function.
Right. The focus here is entirely on learning the fundamentals, proving reliability, and mastering the moderation systems.
Moving up to the mid-level, 45K to 70K, we find the core community manager or a dedicated social media manager role.
This is where you transition from execution to strategy ownership. You're managing small moderator teams, designing the content calendar, and driving the key retention metrics we just discussed. They own the daily operational success.
Then the senior level, 70 to 100,000. This involves senior CMs, community leads, or CM managers.
These individuals are focused on multi-community management, managing the Discord, the forums, and the subreddit, simultaneously developing internal style guides and policy documents, and providing team leadership and mentorship. They manage the strategy, not just the execution.
And at the top, the leadership level, 100K and up. This includes the head of community, director, or VP of community.
This requires high-level executive strategy, departmental budgeting, managing vendor relationships, and reporting key LTC and retention data directly to the executive team across the entire organization.
To succeed and climb this ladder, you need a precise mix of soft and hard skills.
The key soft skills required are empathy, conflict resolution, and exceptional transparent communication. These are the skills used to handle the hardest parts of the job, like crisis management and de-escalation.
And the hard skills are equally important, proving you're not just a friendly face. These include data analysis.
So using those bots we mentioned, like StatBot, to calculate DAU, and retention.
Content creation.
Proficiency in light video editing or graphics design for your 80% content.
And strong project management for planning and executing those high-effort events efficiently.
Exactly. If you want to break into the field, a strong, quantifiable portfolio is non-negotiable. Employers today look for documented evidence, not just resumes.
So what do they want to see?
They want to see communities you've managed, even if they're personal. The specific growth metrics and retention achievements you delivered, the before and after data, the events you organized with dates and participant numbers, and testimonials from members or colleagues.
So if I'm the learner and I'm weak on data analysis, what specific Discord analytics should I focus on practicing today to build my hard skills and fill out that portfolio?
Great question. Start immediately by setting up a bot on a small personal server, even one with just your friends, and start tracking message counts per channel and the new member verification rate. This teaches you how data analysis works in practice. Then, focus intensely on the 7-day retention rate of new members. If that rate is low, practice fixing your onboarding process. These measurable actions are exactly what hiring managers are looking for.
The ultimate insight here is that experience matters more than degrees in this field.
1,000%. The training advises immediate steps. Volunteer modding for your favorite games and systems, building your own small community and documenting everything from rule sets to event feedback, and networking aggressively with other CMs and hiring managers right away on platforms like Twitter and LinkedIn.
Don't wait for the job. Start proving you can do the work today.
That's the only way in. Hashtag tag outro.
We have completed our comprehensive deep dive into the blueprint for gaming community management based on the rigorous training materials from Sport Academy.
We've established that the CM is the essential dual advocate, the human filter connecting the organization to its most passionate fans and driving that LTV.
We've outlined the architecture needed to build a strong Discord hub.
The 80-20 rule needed to engage members with quality content.
The tiered consequence ladder necessary to moderate safely and fairly.
And the data-driven focus required to grow sustainably.
You now have the full knowledge stack. The skills are complex, balancing strategy, technology, data analysis, and raw emotional intelligence. But the payoff is measurable retention, enduring product success, and a loyal base of dedicated advocates.
The foundational takeaway is simple but profound. Every great gaming community started with one person who cared enough to apply structure, empathy, and strategy. That person, armed with this detailed knowledge, is now you.
But before we wrap up, we spent a significant amount of time on moderation, and we emphasized the necessity of CM wellness, the fact that moderator burnout is a real threat, and the high emotional toll of handling severe crises like member distress or a major community revolt.
This raises an important, necessary question for you, the learner, to consider as you prepare for this demanding career. How do you build an internal, reliable support network, not just external resources or hotlines, for yourself and your moderator team when dealing with these high-stress situations?
Ensuring that the critical bridge between the fans and the brand doesn't ultimately burn out the dedicated person who is managing it.
That long-term emotional sustainability is perhaps the final, most crucial metric of all.
A vital point on emotional sustainability. We'll leave you to chew on that one. Thank you for diving deep with us.
घर गेमिंग का है ख्वाब, स्पोर्टी है तेरा जवाब।